What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. In this video, let me begin by saying I am not a financial advisor. I am not a lawyer. I am not a paralegal. I am not registered with the state. I am simply a shareholder, and the court has asked me if I had any objections to send in letters and intervention letters and so forth and so on. And so now I am taking a proactive stance with that. And I have completed my statement of objections, and I'm going to share them with you tonight. All right. But before we got started, I had to clarify. I'm not telling you what to do. I will tell you what I would do and leave the rest up to you. All right. So with that, here we go. First off, let me say this. I started looking at some videos, and I want to say Lou's so fucking close, he's crazy to the solution. It's on the tip of his tongue. He just don't know how to fucking say it. But that's settlement phase, okay? And right now, we have a proposed settlement in front of us. And he has a proposed settlement, but he's got to get that before the court. But before he can do that, he has to have the ability to intervene. And in order to intervene, he has to have a statement of objections as to why he feels he has that right. All right. Now, I agree. Stock buyback, absolutely. And I don't want to give too much away. Stock buyback and stock recall. There's a lot to be said about stock recall. But before we can even get to that part, but believe me, when you get there, because I'm already working on my proposed settlement that could possibly unwind all this shit. But, as usual, there's going to have to be a fall guy. Let me get on with the statement of objections. All right, I wrote my letter here using the outline in which AMC has submitted to the court. I'm waiting on the judge to give me my outline to finalize it and send it on, okay? This is simply my draft from what AMC says they're expecting. The judge has not said yet that this is what she wants. But here we go. Statement of objections. Per instructions from the court, I, Bubby Gunner, a member of the class, have enclosed the necessary documentation to establish that I am in fact a member of the class. Footnote down here, Exhibit A, proof of class membership. Therefore, please accept this letter as my formal desire to object to the proposed settlement currently on the table, of which I am a member. Footnote 2, Allegheny County Retirement System versus AMC. Okay. In this particular letter, I would like to address my concerns and objections to the settlement structure itself, and not as much as the monetary aspect of the settlement, which I will discuss later. Below is a list of my objections, and I have 4. All right. Now, I could have had 20, but I narrowed it down to 4, getting it in there. And I got in there that I'm ready to do a motion to intervene. So I only needed just enough to convince the court that I have objections and that I have a right to be there. All right, so I went with the first one was misleading facts in a settlement filing. There's certain things that they've said in these filings that are absolutely false. And I bring to light one of them in objection number 1. Objection number 2, shareholders' exclusion from discovery. That's a good one. Objection number 3, defendant's right to immunity. I object to that. If Adam Aaron's guilty of something, then the shareholders need to know about it, and we need to act accordingly. Objection number 4 is to the fees and expense award. All right? I got a problem with these lawyers and their money. We're going to talk about that. Let's scoot on down here. Objection number 1. Misleading facts in a settlement filing. In your submission to the court, you stated on March 14, 2023, AMC convened this special meeting where the proposals were approved by a majority of common stock and preferred stock, including preferred stock shares corresponding to uninstructed AMC preferred equity units voting together as a class. This statement of fact is in fact not true at all. And I feel it misleads the court into believing a majority of common stock and preferred stockholders approved the proposed amendments to their corporate filing, and they did not. I am prepared to argue that the vote in question, which took place on March 14, 2023, and I participated, was won by a majority of individuals present during the vote, to include Ontara votes, rather than by a majority of the entire shareholder base. Now, this is really a softball, people. This is boom. I mean, my objection is the judge is going to see that and go, well, of course, boom, they're going to give me that. And they're going to make them straighten that up. That they're not going to be able to try to deceive the court or the people reading the report or the people that will read it in the future need to know that a majority of stockholders did not vote for this. A majority of the people present did. Big difference coming up in the future. All right, let me see something here. That's what I thought. I don't want to talk about objection number 2, all right, because I don't want them to be preparing for that, all right. But objection number 3, defendant's rights to immunity. It is beyond the scope of reasoning to understand why class counsel would bring such condemning accusations against CEO Aaron and the board, then expect shareholders to simply accept, well, they may have done something wrong, then again, maybe not. In other words, class counsel is saying, we brought a charge that we may or may not have prematurely filed. It is not certain whether we can win the case or not. So accept 1 share of common stock for every 7.5 shares you own. Now pay us $30 million, and those that might be guilty will receive blanket immunity. That's what they're saying, people, in this settlement. That's the settlement that they've given us wrapped up. All right, and I go on to say, and the judge is going to agree with me on that too, I know that retail investors are known as dumb money on Wall Street, but give me a break. It would appear the purpose of the class counsel is to ensure blanket immunity in exchange for $30 million shareholders must pay. Therefore, I object to the immunity clause. If the defendants are in fact guilty of the allegations class counsel brought forth, then the special masters should make a recommendation in this matter to the judge. All right. And in number 2, if I could read that to y'all, what number 2 is, but I don't want to do that because it gives the special master all of the discovery, and then you'll see. This is a good one. Fees and expense award. And this is where I really bang them. In class counsel's stipulation and agreement to compromise a settlement and release, it is stated that fees and expense awards means an award to class counsel of fees and expenses approved by the court in accordance with the state settlement. Also mentioned is a request for the court to approve an incentive award for plaintiffs of up to and including $5,000 each. Class counsel goes on to explain that if the incentive award is approved, it would be paid by plaintiffs solely out of any fees and expense awards by the court to them. All right, and then I gave a footnote of where they said that. All right, the question I present to class counsel is specifically, who do you plan to pay this special settlement award to? And what separates these plaintiffs from the class wherein they receive $5,000 and 1 for 7.5, and the class itself only receives 1 for 7.5? Why? How are y'all distinguishing who gets the bigger payoff? And in conclusion, the proposed settlement brought forth by the class counsel leads one to conclude that they have either A, rushed to court and filed a premature lawsuit alleging misconduct by the defendants, and now class counsel is rushing to settlement expecting fees and expenses for a poorly conducted pre-investigation prior to filing the suit. And it is because of these facts and objections, I, Bubby Gunner, a member of the class, request the court consider my objections and allow me to intervene. So, there you go. Put it to them, man. I say, man, hold up. Let me see if I got this right. Y'all filed a lawsuit. Yeah. And later on you're going to come up and say, well, look, they might have done it, might not have done it, so we're going to go ahead and take this. You take this, and we're going to get $30 million, and we're going to pay off these particular people extra. Get the fuck out of here. Well, that's my objections, people. There's one or two in here that I haven't been able to show y'all because I don't want them to get ready for it until I get ready to file this paperwork. Like I said, my next is motion to intervene. I'll be working on that today. In order to do the motion to intervene, you got to have Exhibit B of the paperwork that they filed. And I'll show you, I think it's on page 6, where they start telling the court why we don't have a right to intervene. So just know I'm on top of the case here. And I'm doing it for me. And I'm sharing it with you. Like I said, I'm not giving you any advice, but love you. Be blessed. See you in the next video.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so free.